What a wonderful 2025 we have had on our DealerOn webinars. We've put together some of the best moments from this year's sessions for you to enjoy. The team pulled some impactful clips with the kinds of insights dealers have told us made a real difference in their digital strategies. Let's kick things off with website optimization. This first section looks at simple design and performance improvements that can help shoppers move through your site more confidently and convert more easily. There's some fantastic tips in here from our team, so get out your notepads and get ready for some hot tips.
93% of internet experiences start with a search engine, most of them coming from Google these days. It takes only about 0.05 seconds to form an opinion, and 75% of customers judge a company's credibility based on their website. So it's imperative that your websites are not only visually appealing, but function well to aid in shopper experiences. So things like your site's taking too long to load, you've got poor navigation, no clear calls to actions, too many calls to actions, overwhelming shoppers. Those customers are going to find another place to shop, and we certainly do not want that. So again, clear and easy ways to search for inventory outside of your navigation. So as you see in this screenshot, we have a nice inventory search widget. On DealerOn sites, this is the most engaged with component on the homepage. It's front and center. It's right above the fold. It's getting the shoppers what they came, to view. You can search by vehicle, keyword, or budget. Providing shoppers the ability to search by budget has become even more important. Shoppers are budget conscious. They know a little bit more about what they can spend on a monthly basis rather than a lump sum. So we're seeing a lot more engagement across our websites with payments and budgeting shopping.
Let's see. So we've been talking navigation, right? I get this question all the time. How many nav items should I have? I would love to tell you there is an exact right answer. There is not. There's a wrong answer. I'll tell you that much. It's more than 8 and more than fit on your desktop for sure. Navigation's where we have to have a real common sense approach to things and using common sense language.
Break this down a little bit further, getting it specific onto your website and some of those areas and reasons why they might be leaving your site. So website usability, I think Kelly has said previously that a cluttered or overwhelming user experience, UI, navigation, there's no visual hierarchy. You're not optimized for mobile. I think we all know that over 70% of your customers are on their mobile device shopping, at least starting there. So how easy is it to navigate around?
Confirming availability, looking for the availability of a vehicle, checking availability, confirm availability. That right now is the highest engaged CTA button. It is all about confirming or checking the availability.
But in some ways, Google Tag Managers are there for analytical reasons. They're a pixel tag that's collecting data. In other cases, people are inserting third-party code into Google Tag Managers, which is probably one of the worst things to do, honestly, from a performance perspective. It's much, much better to add that third-party code directly on the website as opposed to through a GTM. And then you might also have other GTMs that are doing kind of a combination of both. So it's really important that you're aware of how many you have and who owns them. Are they doing what you're expecting them to be doing? Are they providing you value? Are there some left over from an agency thrice removed? You know what I mean? And then using site performance testing tools to be able to drill down and measure the performance impact of each of them so that you can evaluate and choose which ones stay and then choose which ones go. And again, don't set it and forget it. This is something on a regular cadence to be looking at and evaluating.
Next up, we're diving into search and social, two channels that continue to shape how shoppers find and interact with dealers online. You'll see highlights that break down what really matters for local SEO, how to keep your business information accurate across the web, and how to build visibility in ways that really helps you be found. All very relevant, even in the age of AI. We'll also hear from one of our partners from Meta as we look at how the right social optimization can completely change who your ads reach and how they perform. Let's take a look. Let's get started. SEO, it's one of those topics that I think we all know is super important, and for all the reasons we already know. Your shoppers are, of course, starting their research online, but in most cases, that's on a search engine, which means showing up there is critical. That's what SEO does. I remember 20 years ago, all you had to do to be good at SEO was slap every local city name into the footer of your homepage. You called it a day and you did SEO. Things are a bit more complicated in 2025. So Jake, you promised me you wouldn't get too nerdy today. I'm going to hold you to it.
Yes.
Let's start with the basics. Let's talk about the different types of SEO and the focus areas for everyone.
All right, awesome. So when it comes to SEO, there are two types that you're going to face. You have local SEO and traditional SEO. Traditional SEO is more on the national index, and it's treated a little bit differently than local is. What's important for your dealership is going to be that local SEO, which is what we're going in detail on today. It's making sure that you're optimizing your website so it shows up for a particular geographic area, most likely the area your dealership's located in. Talk about the next pillar, offsite SEO. Link building, it's one of Google's top ranking factors for local and traditional SEO. So when it comes to link building, there are good links and there are bad links. These are all like votes of confidence to your website, and Google wants to see you have a good amount of them, diversity from different websites in which sites are linking to you, and they want them to be high quality websites. A good rule of thumb is, would I want this site associated with my business? If not, I wouldn't pursue it. But I want to talk more about what a good link is and then talk about what bad links are. So good links from a local perspective are going to be things like if you're engaged with any local sponsorships like Little League teams, food drives, plays, Boy Scout troops, you can, leverage those relationships to get some links to your website. They have good local presence, right? Google understands that that's a local site linking to another local site. That's a great signal. There is a piece, and this becomes really critical in the map pack rankings. This is part of your offsite SEO. There is a little type of backlink, you could think of it, called a local citation that has structured information about your business. A great example is Yelp. If it has your business name, address, phone number, and website, we can consider that a citation. And what's critical with these is making sure that your citations across the web on all these pages like Yelp and Yellow Pages match what Google has on file on Google Maps, right? So first, make sure your Google Maps listing is correct, and then you want to go and make sure your brand name matches exactly to what you have on Google Maps on all these other sites. The address is exactly the same, the phone number is the same. If you are using call tracking numbers, make sure to use local area codes. Google Business Profile has the ability to add multiple numbers where you could add a call tracking and your actual local number. I would always suggest doing that. Avoid adding extra keywords to your business name, right? You want this to match your actual business name. And on these listings, there's no need to add more categories than you actually need, right? Only cover categories for things that your business does.
But where there's still a huge opportunity, where very little of the dollars being spent across tier 3 dealers today is in web lead optimization. These are consumers that Meta predicts will not only click the ad, not only visit your website pages deep, but also are most likely to take some sort of action, a lead action that you've designated. That, I think, is a really important kind of opportunity as we start thinking through this full funnel approach, is that Meta's auction, because these different objectives that you're optimizing for are very specific, someone that clicks a link versus views multiple VDP views versus a lead, these technically in some ways are almost like audience levers.
Now let's shift into analytics, the nerdiest section of all, but also so important to measure performance of all your hard work throughout the year. In this section, we're sharing clips that show how analytics tools can uncover the why behind your traffic, your conversions, and your campaign performance. Whether you're tracking events, choosing campaign goals, or trying to understand how AI is influencing search, these highlights offer a clearer way to navigate the data.
Once again, the ASC is going to help us give that answer. When you have set up the event owner dimension, I'm now able to see who's sending in all these events And then I can start to say, hey, third-party tool sent in X amount of leads. My Edmunds Trade sent in X amount of leads. My Edmunds Trade report I get from them, as Aaron likes to call them, the good news reports. Use this event owner dimension to start comparing your good news reports to what the data actually says. Things that I've seen a lot that I want to talk about. And this is the idea that all of your campaigns should have a primary and secondary conversion. Additionally, your campaign primary conversion should be answering that question. Should answer the question, what is the goal of running this advertising? If I'm running to VLAs, it's leads on the vehicle listing. If I'm running model awareness and I'm running to the search results, I don't want a page view. I want inventory searches occurring. If I'm trying to run the service, that might be the page view. So realize that there's not one primary conversion in Google Ads that applies to everything. Actually, I texted Aaron last night because I remembered I had the great. My sister just purchased their Toyota from up in North Seattle, the Linwood Toyota. I was like, the Linwood store up there. Love it. It's great. When I was discussing this webinar and we were just talking about things, Marianne was like, oh no, that makes sense. I asked ChatGPT about like miles on the highway, but I'm not asking ChatGPT to buy me a car. I'm still looking at the car. Once she figured out what she wanted in that maker model, to go back to 2008, got their way all the way down the funnel, she was not relying on that at all and going and looking at dealer websites for that specific information.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we see right now less than 1% of traffic coming from ChatGPT, AI search, whatever you want to call it, but that's just because it's what makes it all the way through.
One of our favorite parts of this year's webinars was hearing directly from all of you. In this section, we're spotlighting a few questions from our office hours sessions, real topics dealers brought to us throughout the year. Lots of hot tips on the highest converting DealerOn tools and some proven practices to keep driving engagement and conversions. We hear time and time again that the open Q&A is your favorite part of our DealerOn webinars, and you know it's my favorite too. I feel like improv is where I really shine. I just love trying to stump our SMEs, but it never happens. They always come correct. These clips show how much insight comes from conversations that you bring to the table. Let's take a look at some of the standout questions and answers. Okay, so once you have access, where are we going to start? The homepage. I get this question a lot, especially for dealers who have recently moved to DealerOn, is what should my homepage look at? What are the layout options? This is by far our most popular. It's a grid layout. You're going to hear the word grid a lot because we got to give customers a lot of options. The reason it's my favorite is because it allows you to display not only vehicle information, which is critical. Of course, we've got to sell cars. But as you can see here, we can have service information. We can have specials. You can offer with these widgets different pieces of information on your website and get every customer what they're looking for, not just those customers shopping for vehicles. This is by far our most popular layout. And again, it gets those relevant links above the fold. Terry has a question. Although the grid layout is the most popular, does it also generate the most clicks through? Yes, we do a lot of testing, and I'm answering this live. Yes, that's why it's the most popular, because we recommend it because it's the highest converting. So excellent note, Terry. Marion says, what about custom content pages or landing pages for community related events? And I said, absolutely. That's fantastic. If you're, and I typed this out, you're donating. You get asked for donations. You get asked to support golf tournaments all the time. Put that stuff on that community page, and then you ask that bank, that whoever organization to link back to your website, and it's SEO gold. You build a lot of these, right, Gina?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why I do like the option for the custom content pages. It really allows you to take the time to, connect with your customers at a different level, right? So yes, absolutely. If you are looking to do something as it relates to, any nonprofit efforts or anything that you're passionate about. This is a great way to connect with your customers.
Okay, so Tim had a question earlier that I did not ignore. I had to wait so that it made sense. So he wants to know, can a customer search for just a model like Ford Explorer and find both new or used? So a few answers to that. If it's from that homepage keyword, yes. If they put Explorer, it's going to take them to the page that shows them all of the inventory. If they're on the SRP, they're going to choose new or used. We do have a project currently on the roadmap to add an inventory search in the header. We know how important this all is to you, but that's another great example for a landing page. If you've got Explorer advertising out there and we want to drive to both, we can absolutely. And the last thing I will talk about, it came up in the chat earlier, is Symphony or Signals, excuse me. Signals is DealerOn's personalization platform. It's designed to create tailored website experiences for every visitor. By leveraging on-site and off-site data, it dynamically presents highly relative content based on a shopper's behaviors, their interests, and their history. That's the spiel. What is it? It's no login required, and it gives customers inline ads based on what they've been searching for and recommended vehicles. So for any of you who, like me, shop aggressively online, I never met a recommended product that I didn't want to click on. So if you haven't explored Signals yet, for that reason alone, we've got to show you. So it's personalization. It increases time on site. I've got a few case studies. Cost varies based on OEM, I think, but don't quote me on that. I see your question, Adriana, I'll get you an answer. So we want to make sure it's the right tool before I even tell you how much it costs, because that's the most important thing. So that's another one. Talk to your CSM or your a sales team if you've got a DealerOn salesperson you work with closely. These webinars are serious business, very, very professional. But we do make sure we always have a great time and try to make them entertaining for all of you. Here's a few of our lighter moments. A few laughs, at my expense, I am sure, are included for your enjoyment as well.
I'm ready.
Are you ready? Oh my God. Here we go. She brought her cleaning supplies, no gloves, so we're not doing toilets. That's later. You're ready to clean up some websites?
I'm ready. Let's go.
No, and I'm real judgy. That 0.05 seconds, I think I have it beat a little bit, especially if I'm shopping online. If I'm looking to pay money, I'm correct. A lot to cover. Scroll stopping social strategies is the name of this webinar. Say that 5 times fast. Try and mute myself while I feverishly type. So the over-under of me not remembering to unmute before I talk is set at 2. Place your bets now. I mean, let's all be real honest. We're doing it because we have to, for the most part, right? However, these stats really prove that there is a customer intrinsic value in doing this, in addition to avoiding the lawsuits. I think anybody can do a quick Google search for privacy law dealer lawsuit, and you're going to see some horror stories. Hopefully nobody's lived them here, right? Yeah.
No, absolutely. It's a legal requirement. There's legal obligation. Compliance comes with risks, and hopefully we're limiting liability. And all of those warm, fuzzy feelings that go along with that, the building the trust, the honoring, consumers' wishes and things like that. That's just added bonus.
Absolutely. Welcome to Webinar Thursday here at DealerOn. We are here to take you on the highway to the conversion zone. To be clear, we are going to take you right on to the conversion zone. I'm excited to be joined today by the Google Whisperer herself, Colleen Harris, whose official title is Director of Product Insights, but she will always be the Google Whisperer to me. We are inching towards summer. We already have summer vibes with our technology fun this morning. I've given up on the regular school year. No, I'm kidding. My kids have 3 weeks left of school. We're in the Pacific Northwest. We're all just doing our best. We're going to finish off in one piece. I'm guessing I am not alone, but there's lots more screen time for them, which means lots more screen time for me.
Exactly.
It's a universal language, and Google runs the world. We love you, Google, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are.
Or did you ever get a lead from somebody out of state that has never contacted you before or done any of that? Like some suspicion, you're like, this is a bot. It's not a bot. It's the bad traffic from the Google search network.
We're in the bad place. That's what I just thought. Sorry. Okay. So
honestly, yes, it is.
Kevin's got just an answer. He must have a villain as a competitor. Can competition build bad links that embed our website so we get bad marks by Google or hurt our SEO? I hope he's not asking for evil. I'm going to assume he's not. One of the sessions we got the most positive feedback on was our webinar on Core Web Vitals. The best part of the session was the sneak peek of some of our new DealerOn reporting tools that we will be showcasing at NADA. We are so excited to meet with dealers in February to roll out the new TPI Performance Impact Dashboard, which truly empowers dealers to not only see and review site speed performance, but to take action related to GTM containers. Let's revisit the preview of this tool and get everybody excited for NADA. Don't forget, pre-book a demo with us and I will have a $100 gift card waiting for you in Vegas.
This is the Performance Impact Report. So this is looking at your Core Web Vitals scores, both Crux and synthetic, because they are important even if we like Crux slightly better, but they're both equally important through the lens of third-party scripts on your website and GTM containers on your website to help you have all this information in one place, because it's a lot of information. And while it's available today, it's scattered everywhere across the internet. And B, so that you can use this to start conversations with the partners and the providers that you're working with. So up at the top, we can filter by desktop and mobile. We can filter by all core pages, or we can just look at one page at a time. And obviously we've got a date range that's going to stay sticky as I scroll down. I'm going to see things like how many third-party scripts are installed and some insights to say whether that's below or above average or right on track. This performance score is the synthetic score. And then some key performance indicators. So LCP, INP, and CLS are, remember what Google says, pass or fail a Core Web Vitals test. But we're also including the other ones in here too, like FCP, TTFB, and a couple others with obviously an overall. So then we'll also break this out for you with the three main Core Web Vitals metrics. And then we're going to show you the performance score with TPI additions. So you can see what the scores were across the various metrics, and then when third-party integrations were added, so that you can start to see the trend lines of what did that do to your overall performance. We'll show you a chart of all the third parties that are on the website right now, and the performance impact of each. Is it a low impact? Which, awesome. Is it a medium impact? Which could still be awesome, but these might be the ones to look at and have that conversation with those providers, and then evaluate that ROI, right, that we've been talking about. Is having this thing on the website still worth it to you, despite it having a medium impact on the overall load? You can sort these. You can see who our DealerOn trusted partners are. These are the ones that really go to town with us and have a full-on integration, and they meet our standards in terms of cybersecurity, accessibility, ASC tagging, and site speed. And then last but certainly not least is our GTM container section. This one's dummy data right now, so don't worry about that. But this is going to tell you how many GTMs you have on your website, who owns them. A brief description we'll be adding over time of what's inside them, each GTM, what's it supposed to be doing. And then we're still working through this with my engineering team, but this same performance indicator bar you're going to see right here. So we'll tell you how much time that's adding to the overall load time of the website, what it's doing from a performance perspective. So this one is our scorecard report. This is going to tell you all the third-party scripts that are across DealerOn websites. Remember, DealerOn has 7,000 dealer websites and counting, right? We're like one of the largest providers in the automotive industry. So this is all the third-party scripts that are on DealerOn websites. And then we're scoring them in terms of their core web vitals, desktop and mobile, accessibility, security, and their mobile UX, who's a trusted partner, and then an overall grade. So this data isn't going to be specific to your website, but it's meant as a conversation starter to say, I need a new chat provider. Let me go check this out. Who's scoring really, really well? Show me all the, well, nobody's an A plus, but hey, this analytics provider is getting an A. So you can score these. You can check out, score them by category, and then you can even look at who's DealerOn trusted and make some decisions here. Again, all conversation starters, all meant to help pepper you with information so you can make data-driven decisions to really help calculate those ROIs and evaluate the choices that you have in achieving your digital strategy goals.
Before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you for spending time with us. Whether you joined live, watched recordings, or shared questions and feedback along the way, thank you. And a special thanks to all of our presenters and our behind-the-scenes team at DealerOn who make these webinars possible. If you missed a session or want to revisit one, every webinar is available at dealeron.com/webinars and on our YouTube channel.